3, 2, 1.
It's time for Chewing on the Wire Radio, losers.
No, God!
Hey, no biting. Hey, no biting. Okay? You want me to bite you? You know that hurts, Daddy. I told you, silly. No biting, okay?
And welcome back to, as always, another episode of Chewing on the Wire Radio. Another weekend breakdown. Good evening, actually. Because this time, we're hitting you on the air with some new music, fun stories, and all that stuff for about the next hour on a Friday night instead of a Saturday morning. I think we're trying to save one of the weekend days for our mismarketing series and Clubhouse correspondence series. So, yeah, as always, I'm your host, SkiDz. It is just me right now. It is just me tonight. Oh, I'm gonna throw up. Anyway, as always, about an hour here of new music, fun stories, and whatever else pops up on my screen. Quite honestly, I gotta be straight with you on that there. With that being said, I've been throwing myself back and forth here. Should we just hop right into the music, or should I get... Cause I have some stuff. I have some stuff I have to share. Actually, somewhat interesting stuff. Kind of. Not really. Just stuff that actually happened this week. Stuff we gotta break down. Not just random whatever from the past. Like actually somewhat potentially important things. One of those things is very groundbreaking, and now I feel like I'm already getting into it, so I'm just going to share it with you first. I read a book in less than a month. Oh, where's my bell? Max keeps moving stuff. I don't know where the bell went. Hopefully you can hear some of the clapping. I read a book in less than a month, and it's up. There's Max. Some more clap. Oh, he ran away because he's clapping. Alright, anyway. I don't know if you heard him, but... So I read a book in less than a month. And now, it's no one's fault but mine. But the reason I read this particular book, this book in specific, is I had a friend who had to read it for school, and then they were telling me they wrote a book report on it. And... I didn't ask the specifics. They said they'd send it to me after it's graded and all that stuff. But I didn't even ask the specifics about, like, was the project compare this to someone? Or, like, I didn't even understand, or I didn't ask. There wasn't no way I could understand because I never asked why. But I was told they wrote a entire book report on comparing me to the main character, because there were a lot of things in common there. So I'm like, I gotta crack this up. I gotta crack this open. When I looked it up, it was a novella, about 160 pages, but you know how I am with reading books. Sometimes even with watching movies. My attention span is that of a goldfish. I can't pay attention if there's too many pages or too many words on the page, you know what I mean. Whatever, however you say it. I just can't pay attention. So I messaged them and I was like, I am interested because you said that. And only because you said that. I'll read it probably over the next 2 months. But I just got into it. They sent me a digital copy, and then I found it when you can do that like scan the page thing and upload it to Spotify to see if they have a what do you call it, the audiobook version. So I was listening to it on my way to work, on my way, here, the whole, and anyway, and anywhere I could. And it started off not that bad. I could see the comparison between me and the main character because the main character just didn't give a crap about anything. And the turning point was quite literally some dude came up to him with a knife, so he shot him and walked away. Like, okay, well, I wouldn't, obviously I wouldn't be that violent, but like the energy is still there. You piss him off, he just, whatever, And to get back into before that, it wasn't a bad, like, story to begin with. It was kind of this whole, like, dude just going over his life. Like, yeah, I have an annoying neighbor. He's beating his dog, I don't know, this dude's screaming at his wife, and I'm just like, why? Just why? Like, no notes on how he, not how he handled it. I don't like how he handled it. And this isn't getting into like a character report on myself, but like, if it was me, I would have, kind of been like stepping in. Obviously, I wouldn't let him like beat his wife. I wouldn't let him beat the dog. But like all in all, I kind of understand the whole like yeah, I have an annoying neighbor, they're screaming next door, and then I'm just kind of ignoring it. I'm not calling the police. I'm not kind of blah 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 blah. Yeah, no, I could see how that translates into reminding you of me, or the part when he went on like a whole tangent about how he was in prison at one point in time, and then they were like, "Don't you want to see the chaplain to like make yourself feel better?" And he's like, "No. Why would talking about fictitious creatures make me feel better that you arrested me over nothing?" And then they're all offended, and then like the priest comes in all offended. Why don't you talk to God about it? Why in the hell would that help? Why like I understand when they read it, the connections between myself and the main character, but it stopped being a good book once stuff started happening, basically. So I'm gonna ruin it here. I don't even remember who wrote this. Like Shamu, someone, Albert Shamu. I don't know, something like that. But the long and the short of it, just to ruin it for you here. Some dude pulled a knife on him. Well, first off, this dude stabbed his friend. Then he like came back out of the woodwork later on and tried stabbing him. And so the main character shot the guy trying to stab him with his friend's gun. He shot him once, and then he shot him like 4 more times or something like that, just to make sure you know how it is. And this was like in France also, somewhere outside of Paris. And so he got arrested for that. It just kind of got weird after that, because there's very like, if I'm misinterpreting this, any of our French advocates out there, we are worldwide. You can listen to this anywhere on the You can listen to this anywhere on the iHeart app, and we are broadcasting live in a couple different countries as well. So if I'm misunderstanding what I looked up, you can let me know. But both in America and France and a multitude of places, because I just distinctly and strictly looked up stand your ground laws, just because I know this is a book. I know it's a work of fiction, but I like my works of fiction to be rooted in reality. Not to throw us too far off the track with what I'm saying, but that's why I have gotten into things and liked things like all the horror movies you hear I talk about. One of them, more recent, that's been brought into the forefront of what I've been watching, what I've been talking about, what we've been doing, is Five Nights at Freddy's. Before, it has kind of been blown up as like a kid's thing, blah, 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 blah. Once it was like explained to me, I kind of love it, because it's kind of a pretty good premise there. At first, I was like, oh, creepy robots, alright, yeah, but then it was like explained to me like, no. A guy killed children, put their bodies in these robots, and now they're controlling it. I'm like, oh. That actually makes sense as to why they're like alive then. They're not just creepy robot. Like that's actually a pretty like a good fictionalized, like that roots it in reality. There's a person in there that's dead. Like, the zombie Return of the Spirit, Return of the Dead, getting, like, the misfits and things like that. So I was kind of like, oh, okay. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. All right, okay, I can tell. I like fiction rooted in reality. This would never happen because we have never seen a zombie. We have never seen, but like saying, the whole point of half of the things we do when it comes to like Halloween is like the dead come to life for one night. So the robots are alive because the dead came back for one night type of thing. Like, okay, all right, that's actually pretty good. So then when it comes to this, and he gets arrested for that, the book is written in a way where his lawyer and all these other people are kind of telling him, "Don't worry, bro. You're gonna be acquitted. It's gonna be fine." They don't ever mention like the different self-defense or stand your ground laws or anything like that. But it was just like that. It seemed like we're hinting at you're gonna be fine. Blah 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 blah. This happens. The whole entire like part when they're in the courtroom. They're talking about like how this dude's soulless and doesn't have the ability to feel. Again, people are commenting that ties directly back into I understand why my buddy there thought ties back into me a little bit. I've heard that comment a couple of times. Anyway, and then they're talking about like he's soulless, doesn't have the ability to feel because he like didn't cry or mourn for the 2 weeks after his mother died. So like the court case, and again I understand it's fiction, but the court case had nothing to do with the actual crime. And then again, ruining the book here, he ends up being found guilty and then is sentenced to a beheading. And I'm like, okay, so many things wrong here. You guys can text us, email us, whatever, and correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I'm seeing, from what I'm reading, not only would he vehemently be found probably not guilty, especially because this is France way back when, and it was an Arab man with the knife, if you know anything about, putting together a little history and blah 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 blah. Not only would he be found vehemently not guilty, or at least what was the word I just used that started with an A? Completely forgot. Goldfish brain. Again, this is why I can't read the books all that often and get distracted. But regardless, not only would he have been let off, he wouldn't have been sentenced to a beheading in the French Quarter. That just doesn't make sense to me. I just wasn't into that. And again, no one's fault but mine, because I didn't have to read it. But it was a good book till it wasn't, you know what I mean? And it's a novella, only 160 pages. It's called The Stranger, if you want to dabble and see what you think. With that being said, though, before we get into anything else, we do have some more new music for you. So I'm going to shut up for a little bit so you can listen to this wonderful new-ish song, new to you, new to the public, recorded a while ago, but hasn't really been released yet. Take a listen to this.
Muchos clientes que se benefician de los servicios del consulado. La semana que...
Alright, so I made a mistake a couple days ago. Well, the first mistake was going out in public unsupervised, but the root of the mistake was, you know, going to the bathroom in public. Lesson from Scotty on the hunt there, I guess you'd say. Because he never does that. And maybe that is best practices from now on. Because I was at a store and the area in the back, whatever, was under construction. Like they were repainting, they were redoing something. It was like one of those used to be an H.H. Gregg, used to be a craft store, and now it's whatever. They were redoing stuff. The bathroom signs were unmarked. I just went to the one on the right because I figured like there was two stalls in each or something. Like only two people could fit in. Whatever. I don't. Or technically you could lock the big door and be in it by yourself. I don't know. But I walked into one. I didn't lock the big door because there were two stalls and a sink. So okay, we can have two people in this one. All right, tiny bathrooms. Whatever. I'm sitting there doing my business, doing what every guy does when he has to use the bathroom in public. You don't go pee in public. You don't go wash your hands for no reason in public because it's disgusting in there. You wait to get home to do all that. Mother Nature is calling like a bitch, and you have to squeeze the Browns out of your butthole into the Super Bowl, if you know what I mean. So I'm sitting there doing that. I'm about done, and someone else walks in. I don't see their feet. I don't see whatever. I don't see any of that. All right. So I'm going there. I'm finishing up. I'm wearing Converse, high top Converse, and then just like black sweatpants. All right. That's all you would have been able to see under the stall. And I hear a rustling noise next to me, and then I hear more of a high-pitched voice kind of go, "Oh gosh." And I'm ignoring it because whatever, not my business over there. Then I hear what is distinctly a woman's voice go, like kind of knock on the side wall of the stall and go, "Hey, this is embarrassing, but do you have any tampons in your little hygiene thing in your stall? 'Cause mine's out. Would I be able to borrow one?" And then I look like behind me to the right, and there's like the women's hygiene station. So I waltzed in there on a mission, 'cause Mother Nature was calling type of thing. I didn't look around me, and the doors were unmarked. So I don't know. I feel like it's still up in the air that this could have been a like gender neutral bathroom or an all genders bathroom. I don't know. There's no sign on the door, but it's now occurring to me. I think I'm in the woman's room. So as any, it's all coming to me now that the lady can't tell that I'm not a dude because I just have long pants and high top Converse on. They don't see the hair on my legs. Blah 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 blah. So I'm like, here's how we're gonna handle this. I just grabbed what I think was the tampon. I know from past experience they come in sizes. I just grabbed one of them. Kind of poked it under the door just with my fingers. Didn't want her to see hairy arms. I don't. She said, "Oh, thanks." Took it, and I, as quick as effing possible, pulled my pants up and ran out of there while she was, putting that in or whatever. And then I did one of those, like, at the door. I kind of peeked through to make sure there wasn't, like, a line of women about to come in, just in case. No one was there. And I just left. I didn't even, like, buy what I was there for. I didn't even it was, like, at a craft store. Didn't even get the Sharpies I was there for getting. I left. I left and ordered them on Amazon. With that being said, I got another new song for you here. So why don't we get right into this one, and I'll be right back.
Today, my friends, we are in the time as foretold by Jesus, when he said that this is the beginning of sorrow, just the beginning of trouble and sorrows in the world today. Today, we're just at the very beginning of the greatest time of tragedy and human suffering ever experienced by mankind on this earth. Getting ready for new adventures, which certainly appear to mean war with the United States. Surely the future looks dark today. What will be the order of events from now on? What is going to happen from now on? Just where do we stand today in the chain of Bible prophecy as these events, the world events, the events taking place now in the world are vividly foretold in Bible prophecy.
Alrighty then. I did not even mean to throw that second song at you there. As a matter of fact, I gotta stop it in my ears in case you were hearing that. We were having a little bit of technical difficulties there, believe it or not. Surprise, surprise, yada yada. The next thing I have to get into, I'm gonna try explaining this as best that I can, because I know you're not watching right now. I don't think OBX is throwing this onto YouTube. We're having a little bit of problems with that and this whole Google thing and everything going on. But there were a little bit of some sports catastrophes over the past week here. So I'm going to play the replays and I'm going to try to explain them to you. We're going to try to go through them a little bit here. One of them is simply... Oh, Max has joined the chat. You have anything to say, Max? Say into this right here. No? I don't know if you can hear him purring. But, anyway. One of them here. There is, of course, I feel like this happens all the time, every year. There's a 9U ump who is under fire. This is kind of a weird one. So, normally, like, ugh, I don't ever comment on these, like, videos or crap, because it's going to be 65 people against you, 2 for you, you know, everyone's going to argue which ones these smart people are, everyone's going to argue which one's the dumb people. I feel like I should just throw this on and kind of break down with you what's going on as you're kind of listening to it. I'll have it going on in the background here. I'm going to turn the volume way down. But basically here, I mean, we got this umpire, 9U baseball game. This is like travel ball, some kind of, they got really nice field going here. If you can hear any of this, I'm going to have the volume low. It's going to be high for me, I think. But basically this kid, this 9-year-old, if you could hear that right there, maybe I'll pan your volume up a little bit more here. This 9-year-old here smacks a home run. Just smacks the piss out of it. The kid running from... what base was he on? Was he on... I don't even see a kid on base. Was he on first? Alright. There's another kid on the base paths, though. Is basically what we're getting at, regardless of where he came from or whatever. There was another kid on the base paths, and he rounds third, he's running home, and he just stands next to the plate. Like, he does not ever touch home. We'll get to my breakdown, and I know this is 9-year-olds, but he's standing next to the plate here. Never touches home. He rounds third and then, like, is standing in the batter's box waiting for the kid that hit the home run to come around. Now, some kid pushes him. 2 kids push him onto home plate. So now the kid that rounded third has touched home plate. The kid that hit the home run now comes around, hits home plate, and all the kids are mobbing him. Alright. They go off into their dugout, and then if you can listen to this next part here, I'm going to pan you up so you can hear.
Step on the plate, Bryce. Which runner? The first runner. First runner? So. Yes! Let's go! I was standing right in front and I saw it. Go ahead, let's go.
So there's a point in there, it's quiet right now, because what just happened there was the other team was like, throw the ball home. They were yelling at their 9-year-old pitcher, throw the ball home, whatever that catcher's name was, Bryce or whatever it was, step on the plate. Step on the plate, and the umpire goes, okay, which runner then? If you actually saw it, which runner? He's pointing at him, and the parent, the coach of the other team goes, the first runner. Then the ump's like, yeah, you're right. And then he went to talk with the coach of the team from the kid that hit the home run, and of course he's mad, and he's like, I was watching it. He didn't hit home until the other kids pushed him, and you'll hear him say that in a second here. Now we're seeing a replay.
First runner's out. That's the third out. So the home run does not count. It'll be granted as a triple. I don't have a choice. He missed home. He missed home. He didn't touch it at all. He went to the side. He went to the side. And then your teammates...
You have that? Hey, guys,
I do.
Don't worry. Hey.
You know what? You... Get out of here.
He didn't say anything. He didn't even say anything, boy.
You get out of here, too. You, gone.
He didn't even say anything.
Yeah, it's such a joke. I heard everything. Get out of here.
Alright, so then just to synopsize that last little bit there then also, you heard him say on the later replay, it didn't happen when I thought it did, when I remembered it did, he was like, I can't do anything about it, your kid didn't touch the plate until your teammates, and then it starts getting muffled, but he was saying until his teammates pushed him on there, you know, then the coaches start swearing, start calling him stuff. It was muted, it was cut out there, you know, I'm not having that on here right now, just, you know, just in case. And then people start getting thrown out, and then he throws out, I think just because the ump was being a hothead at that point in time, he threw out someone from the team, like the team that didn't hit the home run. Like, he threw people out from both teams. I don't know what that was about, but this is one of those, and of course everyone is like, that's kind of dumb for a 9U game, you know, to get like that heated, to get like a 9-year-old just smashed a home run. Now, from what I'm hearing, I'm not huge into 9-year-olds and baseball, but from what I'm Googling, shouldn't say from what I'm hearing, because I don't know why. I guess Donovan's an umpire. I could have asked him. But from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of, like, these composite bats are kind of getting, I guess, what we would call a wood bat corked. Like, that's just how they're making them. Got a little extra pop, if you know what I mean. That's just how they are. So maybe this happens more than I realize, but, like, this 9-year-old kid just hit a home run. I wouldn't have protested it. I may have, like, as the ump, I would have been, like, telling the kid, oh, Max is looking at me. He's trying to sleep, and I'm talking, well, don't sleep on the table, on the desk, then. You crazy. Psst, 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 psst. Anyway, as the ump, I would have been like to that kid probably after the game, or just sometime like, hey, make sure you hit home, don't do whatever that was, and then kind of like reiterate just so they know the rules of baseball, especially at this level, which I had to Google. Don't have your teammates touch you to hit home plate, because technically, and everyone wants to argue against the ump, everyone wants to yada yada. The ump was 100% right. You can't touch to assist a runner touching the base. It's a weird rule, but it's a rule in 9U baseball here. And then on top of that, he didn't touch the plate until the other kids like pushed him onto the plate. So he's correct, he's out. But then that was the third out because that kid never touched the plate, or it just counts as an out because he was pushed onto the plate by his teammates then. Then the kid with the home run got a triple because then you can't pass the runner in front of you on the base paths and all that stuff. So that was a really weird one. One just off the bat again, I wouldn't have protested it as the other coach. That was kind of weird for 9U baseball. I'm being told this is, I don't remember the name of the league now. I'm being told when this was sent in that this was like big time kids travel baseball. This is like people from Indiana, California, Texas, all playing for one team all summer long, or something like that, like little series, Jesus Christ, Little League World Series type of thing. But I don't know, because they're 9-year-olds. I wouldn't have protested a 9-year-old hitting a knocker like that. But to each his own, I guess, you know. But, and then that's the weird thing, and this is why I just don't comment, because, you know, it's going to be 65 people against you, 2 that actually have been umpires under the rules, you know, for you, but the umpire was right, I guess, you know. And speaking about referees and umpires being under fire, we have some more AHL hockey news this time. It's going to be another video here, just so everyone knows. I'm going to try to break it down, but, what do you call it? Some more AHL hockey news and all that stuff. This time not Cleveland Monsters related. Sorry, I'm going through trying to find another song we're going to do after this when we hit our next break, so excuse the clicking. But, what do you call it? AHL hockey playoffs. It's the Springfield Thunderbirds against the Providence Bruins, alright? And now this is a big deal because the Providence Bruins are like #1 seed in all of this. #1 seed in their division. Is this the Atlantic Division? If I'm understanding what I'm reading. #1 seed in the Atlantic Division against the #6 seed. Springfield was the #6 seed in the Atlantic Division. And just not even counting this game. This was game 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this was game 4. And just where we're at now already. Surprise, surprise, Springfield is winning the series. The first half up until the conference finals, I believe. AHL hockey does like best of 5. Alright. So Springfield was already up 2-1. So they only have to win one more game without even any, you know, crazy, you know, oh, that should have been offsides, blah, 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 blah. Without any of that, Springfield's already up 2-1. That's a 6 seed over a 1 seed right there already. You know, this is round 2 for Springfield. I believe Providence got in to the second round. They got first round bye, I think. But regardless, last night they did this crazy thing here. This one I don't really got to like break down for you. I don't really. It happens quite fast. Let's just play it and see here. So this is this in overtime? If I'm understanding, yes, this is in overtime. Springfield
Jump
here.
over Brown in center. T-Birds could have a 3-on-2 here. Stenberg into the slot. Wagner in front. Dubé scores! Dylan Dubé! And the T-Birds have pulled off the upset! 38 points behind in the regular season. It's the biggest series upset in Calder Cup playoff history.
So if you heard all that, the biggest upset in Calder Cup playoff history to date, 38 points behind in the regular season. Springfield came in, got in the playoffs, and now knocked out the Providence Bruins, number 1 seed, 3-1. Why is this so controversial? Because there also has to be controversy. Of course there has to be controversy. They're saying the Thunderbirds were vehemently offsides. As I'm seeing this, and I'm pausing this in every way, I'm putting this through all my different video apps where it like slows it down to God knows what speed type. The puck is all the way over before the dude they're trying to point out. Like here, let me see. So the puck is over. They're saying like it was close, but like from what I'm seeing where the dude with the puck has his stick stretched over the line, the other dude isn't not just like on/behind the blue line, like he's like behind the blue line still, I think it looks like. I don't know, the camera's throwing itself like boom. That is not offsides, but that's just a crazy thing. I just, every time, it's hard when we're not doing the live streams right off the bat to do those kind of breakdowns with you, but I kind of like doing those breakdowns, or I've had the idea that we should keep doing more breakdowns like that, but it's just, some of them are so stupid, like, even if that was called back, you still lost the series 3-1, and you're a 1 seed at home type of thing, you know what I mean? You started this crap at home, dog, like, that's still rough. I don't, speaking of dog, rough, but Max, can you laugh for me? Oh, he's licking his foot. Alright. No, there's always an excuse. And it's funny as heck. It almost shows you something about the Bruins there. That every team they have is getting knocked off by a team that's substantially underneath them, whether it be ranking, whatever it is. Every time they get to the playoffs. With that being said, I'm going to throw you into one last break here. So I'll be right back. and welcome back for the last time. Last little segment here. I don't have too much to say, but I just wanted to talk about the term. Very random, kind of, if you don't know me, very random. But the term gaslighting. I just don't get that term because I don't think that is a term that goes with what's happening, if that makes sense. What I'm getting at here is I've gone 27 years of my life without being, quote unquote, gaslit. And now Max is licking my notes. Thank you, Max. Psst, 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 psst. Alright, anyway. I've gone 27 years of my life without being what we're calling gaslit. Then once I found out, like, what it was, and, you know, as people mess with me, whatever, the term just doesn't make sense to me. Alright? We're getting into that for a second here. Real quick. Gaslight. The gaslight on your car is like, and I understand what they're saying, kind of. When it comes on, the manufacturer, or like people say that means you're out of gas. You're not out of gas. You have a couple miles left. Less than a gallon. So then they use that term when you're like messing with someone or just straight up making them believe something else. Because they're like, the car makes you believe something else. Well, no. The car doesn't make you believe something else. You are out of gas. You have less than a gallon. Sometimes that might not even be a mile if your car's not burning, or if your car burns gas really bad. So no, the car is not lying. You saying we're not dating and we're siblings is just lying. There is no basis to truth in that. The gas light in the car has a huge basis to truth because you are about to run out of gas. I just don't get it. That just doesn't make sense. Then the whole I think I'm being told I'm stuck in the cracks of two master gaslighters, because then some of this is just like I don't, makes you question everything. Again, back to the we're not dating, we're related thing there. It's like, well, okay, that's wonderful. I would just let me know, because I've told a multitude of people that you were dating. So if you actually are, like, I don't understand the fun in that, because I feel like it's just confusing people, because then, like, like, one of them's like, I work with two of these people that would do things like that, and then it's one of those, like, that ain't no skin off my nose. I'm going to have to explain to, like, half the new people that, like, this isn't a weird Alabama relationship. Apparently there isn't a relationship. It's just that weird, like, I don't understand, like, and it's become, like, the thing. We have one manager at work that is, like, quite easy. No offense if you're listening. You know who you know I love you, and you know who you are. Very easy to make him believe almost anything. And, like, there can be funny gaslights. Like, one of them, these same two people convinced him that Culver's was a strip club. Like, okay, that's kind of funny. If you don't know what Culver's is, and you're like, oh, wow, I've never heard of that. Is that why they're opening up, you know, only in big cities or whatever, because it's a strip club? Like, alright, that's good to know. But then it's kind of funny because it's like a burger place. The ones that I've been abused with, dare I say, is, like, again, the thing when it's like these two people that are the master gaslighters are dating, but then it kind of became into the, like, whatever happened, whatever the story was, that some joke was made about them dating and blah 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 blah. I think the situation was one of them, like, watches my cat and stuff for me. I'm friends with both of them. This goes so far back because it was like I didn't know they were dating. When I started working at this place, I knew each of them independently and individually, and I'm being told by a third party that was because they weren't, like, out with their relationship, or they just started dating a couple months before maybe that I knew them. So, like, I knew them as two separate entities and were just friendly with both of them. Then it's been like I enjoy, this is really weird, kind of random, but I enjoy the whole being friends with both the people that are in a relationship, because it's like the extra fry in the bottom of the bag. Like, I was friends with one person, and then it's like, oh, I have a boyfriend. Oh, you may actually know him, or even if you don't know him, you'll probably be friends with him because he likes the same thing as you do. It's like, sweet. I don't like talking to people. I don't like making friends. I sit in my house with my cat all day, and I very introverted person. So that's like French fry at the bottom of the bag type of thing. Like, I went out of my way because I found one decent person, to talk to. Like, all right, yeah, we can chill, we can hang, whatever. Then they're like, guess what? You get a second person without even trying. It's like, okay, I'll take that any day. You know what I mean? But then there was some joke made or whatever. I think it was by my mother, actually, that I was like, I don't know if they want me to drop names, so I gotta come up with some DJ names here real quick. Well, one of them you guys already know is A&J, codename Andrew Johnson. The other one we're gonna throw in here, Kindercare and Andrew Johnson. All right, that's how we're gonna refer to them. So you guys, you creepy people out there, don't look them up and then start sending your hate mail that I get in my email here to them. So Kindercare helps out a bunch. Watches Max sometimes, right, Max? Whoop whoop, right? He's sleeping. Anyway, he's sleeping right next to me and not acknowledging the fact that I said food, feed, cat. No, alright. Regardless, they help out a whole lot. They help feed Maximilian over here, alright? What was I doing? I was going somewhere, and they were feeding the cat for me. I can't remember. This was more than 5 minutes ago. And I was telling my mom, because my mom was like, do you have someone to feed the cat? It couldn't have been when she went to Myrtle Beach, because I went with A&J and Kindercare somewhere at the same time, so we were all together. I don't know, we were something, and my mom was like, I can't do it, you gotta have your dad or someone do it if you don't have, one of your friends doing it. So I'm like, nah, I got someone. And then I told my mom their name because, they're aware of the two of them. Gave Andrew Johnson's sister a car. My mom was there to sign crap over, very aware of the situation. They've mutated their way into my life for some reason, in ways that nobody else ever has. I'm not complaining about that, but that's good. It's good. It's good. I don't like meeting people normally, but yeah. So very well aware of these two. My mother is. And my mother goes, oh, that's that's Andrew Johnson's sister, right? And I'm laughing because I'm like, no, dog, that's his significant other. This is, I hope they're not related, because the things I've seen with my two eyes would, no, that sounded worse than it was. No, I'm going to leave that. I'm actually not going to explain what I mean by that, because that's my cup of tea right there. Figure out what I mean by that as you will. Anyway, what was I saying? Max, where was I? Max has a script. Hold on. He's got a page. Oh, we're only on page 8. Thank you. You can go back to sleep. Good boy. Psst, psst, psst. Anyway, so then I told them that, both of them, I was like, you'll never believe this, my mom thought you two were related. And then they kind of sent something back. Again, masters of gaslight, so I knew it was a joke, but they were like, well, we are. And I'm like, okay, yeah, alright, whatever. And then that just kind of persisted, because then other people, one way or another, heard about it, and are getting on me like, no, dude, you misunderstood, they're not dating. They're related. And I'm like, this is one of those things, like, who cares? Like, okay. Then just tell me whichever one is correct, because frankly, I don't care. But this isn't even like, oh my gosh, it's a gaslight, we're gonna make him laugh and have a good time with this. I just want to know the information. And this isn't even what, again, the term gaslight isn't like the gaslight. means you're running out of gas. You're just making stuff up and saying it to me. I don't even know. I don't even know. And I'm getting too long into this. We're almost over our hour here. And I gotta play you another song. I'm contractually obligated to play you another song. So I'm gonna do that, then I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see you either tomorrow or next weekend. Maybe Sunday for our Clubhouse Correspondence series. Regardless, I'll see you again in a little bit. Have a good one. And don't touch your siblings in the way you touch your significant others. And tell your mutual friends if you are dating or not this weekend, please. Alright, peace.